well to the eminent Catherine McGregor. Catherine, what did you make of all that today?
Well, I just want to claim credit before we kick off, mate. I introduced you to Bob Carr, if you might remember, in a restaurant at North Sydney.
Oh, you've got a better memory than I have.
He wanted to sign a peace treaty with you because of the rinsing you'd given Barry Unsworth in 1988, and you did a Phantom Melbourne Cup call at the dinner table, and I introduced you, Pear. I wish I'd known he was on. I would have loved to have had a bit of repartee with him,
well,
my old boss. Look, what do I make of it?
33 to 1 yesterday for the Cup winner, by the way. 33 to 1. Now, what do you make of today?
Wrote your own ticket, mate.
Yes. What do you make of today?
Well, look, I'm with Bob to that point. I think the ballots that were cast legitimately prior to, under state processes should be counted. But I'm certainly not discounting the fact that that will still lead to a legitimate victory by the incumbent President Donald Trump. A number of things emerge. Has been an absolute humiliation for the elite media, the Twitter class, and pollsters. Everyone, that was supposed to be a blue landslide today, and Trump's ground game and the energy with which he campaigned, even one of his opponents on American ABC, our execrable ABC coverage wasn't worth more than 5 minutes, and I went over to George Stephanopoulos, and someone from the Democratic Party said, hard work beats high spending every time. And the fact that he campaigned down to the wire, and I think a number of things played his way, Alan. I think the fact that he was diagnosed with COVID and bounced out of hospital and got back on the campaign trail, that emboldened his base to get out and vote physically today. And the Democrats were saying that the masking effect and staying home to be COVID safe would favour them. But a lot of Paul Murray's work last night's been vindicated today too. And I pinged him earlier and said his analysis about the fact that the Democrats were not as far in front on the pre-polling as they wanted to be, left them in a very precarious position. And he pretty much called this race last night from Australia, which I'm immensely impressed by. Where does it go from here? Look, I think if there's one culpable thing that Donald Trump will regret, it is trashing John McCain. By denigrating him personally, I think he threw away Arizona, which is a deep red state, culpable to throw that away. How Georgia and North Carolina, as states of the old Confederacy, are in play at all also eludes me. But look, it is a remarkable performance from the president. He was written off, he was denigrated, he was given no chance. And when you saw the people, the 2.5 million, I gather, in the ground operation today, out there, ordinary, patriotic people who pay their taxes and salute their flag, it left a lump in my throat to see that they only get a voice once every few years, but by gee, they were heard today.
Good on you. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want a lump in your throat, stay with us till the end of the program. We'll give you a lump then. Look, how do you think, Catherine, Hillary Clinton would have felt today when you've got this leading Democrat? This is their representative with a cognitive deficiency who couldn't campaign, unable physically to campaign, at times didn't even know where he was, couldn't remember there was running for the White House, not the Senate, couldn't remember Donald Trump's name and thought it was George Bush. I mean, how on earth would Hillary Clinton be thinking? What would she be thinking tonight?
Undoubtedly she would be chagrined, but any number of people, but again, the lunacy of the left. You've got people denouncing Trump tonight, demanding Scott Morrison call him. This is where the Australian Twitter left are at tonight, demanding that our Prime Minister ring and rebuke him over that claim that he had already won the election. What can you imagine their outcry if Trump had rung in the middle of the Australian election count last year? It just shows you what a parallel universe. Sane people who really make a difference don't have big Twitter followings. I've decided that now is an iron law of politics.
Absolutely.
And secondly, the Democratic Party of Jack Kennedy and even Bill Clinton has been completely mortgaged to Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and they've thrown this guy up who is manifestly unfit for any form of public office. It's a great shame. Absolutely. It is a great shame.
Just a quick one before you go. Australia and Trump and Southeast Asia and China and the Middle East and our oil supplies and so on. How significant for Australia is a Trump victory?
Well, look, this has been my ground all along, Alan, that I think what Trump does is that he introduces a wild card factor. His abrasiveness, the way he dealt with North Korea in 2016 over the nuclear testing, he intimidated them. The killing of Soleimani in the Middle East, the Iranian general, really chastened that regime. He has sown discord between Shia and Sunni Muslims in the Middle East, which has had a chilling effect on the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's activities. Now, he's not perfect, but he honoured his promise to get out of those endless wars. He's preserving American power and pivoting to the Indo-Pacific, which Hillary and Obama talked about and never did. So I think in Australia's medium to longer-term national security interest, a win for Trump is vastly preferable. He sows more uncertainty amongst our adversaries than Biden ever will. He's a soft-touch Biden. They won't take him seriously. And Kamala Harris will end up serving part of the term anyway. I think it's highly likely if that outcome occurs. And I'll close on this final point that he has overhauled the United States nuclear arsenal. He's invested in defence as he promised to do. So he's a better bet for our longer-term national security. I'm also just relieved we got through polling day without a crisis in the Taiwan Straits, which was always the nightmare scenario that worried me, was that China would embark on some sort of adventurism in the last week.
Absolutely. Great analysis, Catherine, as always. Our listeners, our viewers love you. Catch up again next week. Thank you for your contribution.
Talk soon.
There she is, Catherine McGregor.